Welcome back to another Lisa and Michael Save the World 5 minutes. Today with Andrew Ward, artist. And he's going to be discussing art holes today.
I love this already. I don't even know what he's going to say, but I love it.
I hope they're children.
Michael.
Well, it's funny you should mention children. So my art hole is the Hinds County School Superintendent, Delesicia Martin, who is a school superintendent in Mississippi. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but back in March, an assistant principal who's been in education for over 20 years, Toby Price, was a last-minute Zoom reader replacement. And being he was home, he grabbed the first book that was, that came to mind that he thought was very funny, which I happened, coincidentally, I had a copy of it already. It's called I Need a New Butt. He read it to these kids, and he was called in and asked to resign, which he refused. And 2 days later, he was fired for reading a book about a kid needing a new butt, which, I implore everyone to get the book and read it. It's hysterical. The author and illustrator are both from New Zealand. And I think it's the funniest thing because, believe it or not, like 99.9% of the people in the world have butts. And it talks about, I guess they didn't like the word fart because it mentions that in the book. But in their school's library are the series Captain Underpants, which I believe is one of the funniest kids' books that are out there, one of the funniest series. So I guess I nominate Delesicia Martin, school superintendent of Hinds County, as my art hole.
I do too. I also say their school board, who had to approve this firing, are art holes as well. I think it's the whole system.
And so when anyone decides to pander to the few, it's just reprehensible. I'm not a fan.
It is, so. and it also fuels the fire of other people to behave in the same manner.
Correct.
And it feels, and in a way, it sets a precedent, which essentially makes it okay, and it's not okay.
It's not. It really isn't. And to be fired for reading a book about a kid who needs a new butt after you dedicate over 20 years of your life to educating kids, and that this didn't make national news. It made like the AP Wire and stuff like that, but it wasn't on nightly news, and it's just for reading a book. And it's not even like he was reprimanded or, suspended pending an investigation or anything like that. It was just either resign or you don't want to resign. All right, you're fired. And I'm hoping that people come to their senses and actually rally around this teacher and try and get him reinstated,
Or even better, if you got a job somewhere else.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And, so he has bills to pay, and he started a GoFundMe, or somebody started it for him. And, it's just, it should never have had to have happened. He should never have had to. Listen, there have been plenty of stories out there of teachers and coaches getting physical with students and berating them and, bullying them. And I can understand there's no tolerance for that. But this is a book about butts.
Right. And that it's a popular children's book. He's not reading him a book, reading the children a book that's not within their age group. It's completely
right, exactly.
Kids want to laugh and they want to have a good time. Everything cannot be serious. And in its own way, it does teach a lesson in a very fun, subtle way.
Exactly. The thing that really struck me is the one in the book, the one line is about maybe an artsy fartsy butt, and it has a painter painting this kid's butt. It's like a graffiti looking butt, and then the next page is like polka dots and all that. And I thought, that is hysterical. Maybe a kid is going to see that and say, wow, I could draw that, or I want to paint. And you don't know what it's going to open up. But I highly doubt that any of these kids, and I couldn't find any reports that any of these kids' parents, you know, the children that were read the book, objected to it.
Michael, just so you know this, so just what you know about, I know you don't know Andy very well, but I do. And Andy is the father of 2 sons. He's also a new grandfather. Now, Andy, would you read this book to your granddaughter?
Oh, absolutely. That's the reason why I have it. I didn't have it like for a long time.
Well, we're kind of in the midst of burning books in this country, so I guess that's just another one.
We're back at it, right?
Yeah, it's another one to add to the fire, I guess.
Right. Like, why a school superintendent has the power to make a decision like this is beyond me. You know, I mean, there wasn't public outcry. There wasn't like, you know, like Michael said, a book burning or anything like that. It wasn't like a community was up in arms, and it's just the opposite. So now a lot of authors and illustrators of children's books are rallying around this man, you know, trying to get him reinstated, you know?
Yeah, it's a censorship that should not,
it's ridiculous.
Before it gets started.
Right. So like when I watch yours, you know, the 2 of you, your episodes are hysterical. So when I watch them and you come up with Artholes, I'm like, man, the list is so long in my opinion, you know? Like I don't appreciate certain people, you know, bowing down either, you know? Like, just stand up. I mean, do the right thing.
Yeah.
Make a difference because it has an incredibly long lasting effect. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Michael, do you love Andy or what?
Yes.
Andrew Ward.
I do. This was great.
Next time Michael and I are together, we need to do a full episode with you.
Listen, the fact that I'm here now with the 2 of you in your presence and considered equal is ridiculous. This shouldn't even exist. It shouldn't happen. But I would be overjoyed to sit in person with the 2 of you and talk about art and influences and everything else, because
we're going to hold you to that for sure.
Absolutely. Lisa, you know, you can ask me to do anything, or ask me for anything, and I'll absolutely do it. But I might fanboy out a little bit with Michael after like really diving into his, you know, photography. I'm sorry, it's going to happen, you know.
Okay, so listen, everyone.
Thank you.
Everyone, check out Andrew Ward's Facebook page and follow him. You're going on a journey that you will never forget and always enjoy, I promise.
I'm glad I can interrupt you because it's not my Facebook page, my Instagram page. Unfortunately, I took a hiatus from Facebook eons ago, but
that's right.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram on Andrew's art page.
Yeah. And we'll put it into the video, interview, and we'll put the link in. And yes, Instagram, and hopefully someday you come back to Facebook. Thank you, Andy.
I don't know, you know, who knows? Never say never, right?
I'm always getting suspended, so I understand you.
You know, Michael, honestly, I just couldn't stand all the negativity, you know?
Yeah.
I'd rather it be like different versions of Facebook where if you don't want to hear anything negative, you can just, that's why I like Instagram. You know, I haven't had anyone call me an a-hole on, you know, on Instagram, so.
That's a plus.
Yeah, you know.
Well, thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll get to do this in person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be honored. It would truly be an honor.
Okay. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye-bye.